Because my phone hit.
PSA, if you have wavy hair, a hair care routine for straight or curly hair will not work for you. I really thought I was gonna have unwanted frizz, tangles, and oily roots for the rest of my life. I have tried so many shampoos, oils, creams, but none of them ever worked long term. However, after a recent salon visit, I found out I have wavy hair. That's when I decided to switch up my hair care routine and finally try Pros, which, let me tell you, has completely changed my hair for the better. Their hair quiz asks about my hair type, goals, and even lifestyle questions like how often I work out that can affect my hair. And then they analyzed and created a custom formula for my 2B waves. Using products specific to my hair type meant good hair days every day. My waves now look hydrated and defined. It's time you show your waves some love. Take Pros' quiz today.
It's time for the main event. Wayfair's Black Friday Savings Spectacular is on now. Score up to 80% off furniture, holiday decor, and more at Wayfair's lowest prices of the year. Save up to 80% off.
Welcome chef _ red 82 _ You're meowsome. Lol. Clears throat meow meow. This handsome feline needs to take a quick cat nap. But don't worry, the stream will be back soon. Lol. Yawn's nap time already? How perfect. Sweet dreams are made of this. Lol. Curls up and starts snoring softly.
I see that OBS has decided to change all my outputs again, so my sound is all messed up a second time. Can you guys hear me okay? I think you guys should hear the music in the background and me as well. Hopefully that is the case. Yes, okay, everything's fine. Okay, good, because, yeah, I'm hoping it's actually outputting. I'm actually experimenting a little bit with closed captions today. It's probably going to be like that for just on this slide or this window for now until I get used to it and see how it works, see how it all pans out. So that'll be probably won't be happening on the when I change over to the stream here, but I'm just kind of testing it out, see how it works, and going to be adding that to my stream from now on. So we'll be playing with that and going with that. So yeah, welcome guys tonight, today, whatever the hell we are. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today, obviously. We're going to be talking about Movember, which is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, which is at November. There's a reason why it's called Movember, and I'll get to that here in a little bit. A couple things before we get started today. The schedule has changed this week. I'll be streaming actually tomorrow. Usually I don't, but we have Thanksgiving on Thursday, which I'm not going to be streaming at all, so there's that coming up. So we got today, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday are my scheduled days this week. So we're going to talk about the beer of the week is hard seltzer, where hard cider is actually wine, hard seltzer is actually beer. So that is a different thing as well. In fact, I totally forgot to bring that up. That was my bad. Get that here in a second. I'm balancing a lot of windows right now, guys. You have to bear with me here. Let's see here. Okay, so there's that. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then a couple things before we get into the actual main topic today, and that is, like I said, men's mental health awareness. And it's a tough topic to discuss. A couple things I want to bring up right out of the gate. I am not a licensed therapist, psychologist, whatever. The stuff I'm going to add today will be my personal experiences with mental health and advice I can give, take it or leave it. But if you really want to seek a professional, I am not it. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt. I'm just going over based off my own life experiences and the stuff that I've dealt with myself. And we'll talk about a lot of different topics tonight. We'll talk about cancer in men. We'll talk about mental health, obviously. We'll talk about suicide rates in men and some of the stigmas and whatnot that men have to deal with. And some of these topics will be hard. If you're comfortable sharing your story at any one point with your own mental health, if you had any problems with mental health, I would be happy to listen to it. I'm sure the any viewers here today would be happy to listen to it or read about it. I think it's a topic that we should be discussing a lot, and we don't. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. With that being said, this is sensitive topic stuff today, guys, and it's gonna be hard. Okay, I'm gonna have some music playing in the background. If someone starts jumping in here with politics and political BS or making inappropriate comments during this discussion today, it's going to be an immediate ban. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and deal with you. You're gone. I don't care if it lowers my viewer count. I'm not going to sit here and deal with it. So just keep that in mind. Either myself or Jafasa will immediately ban you. That's how it's going to be today. Okay. With that being said, discussion today is open, mature, intelligent talk. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm happy to respond to comments. Just don't be a douchebag about it, or I'm going to deal with you easiest way I know how. So, and just call it a day on that. So keep that in mind. Before we get into the hard seltzer talk today, guys, this week, the beer of the week, does anybody have any questions about what we're going to be talking about today? If any of this stuff triggers you, feel free to leave. I'm not going to be offended by that. I understand, like I said, a lot of the stuff is difficult. But if you have any questions about what we're talking about today, feel free to ask. I will answer. Don't be shy. My hope is this is not just a one-sided story the entire time, me just plopping my gums the whole time. I invite you guys to participate, whether it's questions or comments, or you have your own stories you want to share, and be as open about all this stuff as we possibly can. See if anybody has any questions. I know it's a tough thing to talk about, guys, but it's something we should be talking about a lot of. I'm glad there's a month, not just for November, but the entire year. We should be talking about it. Okay, no questions? All right. We're gonna get into hard seltzer, guys, and this is one you should all recognize: White Claw. If you walk down the beer aisle recently in your grocery store, you probably noticed that a lot of that now is hard seltzer. And it is blown up in popularity. Why? It's inexpensive, it's easy to drink, low alcohol content, so you can drink it without getting drunk, and it's enjoyable. It comes in a variety of different flavors and offerings. In fact, it's only been around since 2013. In 11 years, it's blown up in popularity around here. Over half the people in the US who drink alcohol have at least one hard seltzer weekly. How crazy is that? Hard seltzers are fewer calories and carbs than many beers, wines, cocktails do. But is it healthy? Probably not so much. But it's a big thing. It's a big thing right now. I'm trying to hang on. No. Gotta enter my birthday to enter, stuff. Enter websites. In 2019, hard seltzer sales were at $4.4 billion. Isn't that nuts for alcohol that just came out 11 years ago? It's pretty nuts. This is a seltzer alcohol, yes. The FDA has classified this as actual beer. This is not a wine like hard cider is. This is hard seltzer is a beer. So there's that. Some of the more common flavors are black cherry, blood orange, cranberry, guava, hibiscus, kiwi, passion fruit, peach, pineapple, raspberry, ruby grapefruit, strawberry, and watermelon. Of course, I have strawberry today. Or I'm sorry, I have raspberry today. My bad. So there's that. Now I've not really been a fan of hard seltzers in the past. The carbonation bothers. I deal with heartburn a little bit. The carbonation bothers my heartburn a lot. So it's hard to handle in that regard for me. I'm a beer guy usually because I don't have to deal with that as much. Beer and wine, obviously. But like I said, hard seltzer's been out there for a while, and it's a hugely popular product. And how is it made? Well, it's fermented, very similar to beer. Yeast consumes any sugars that are present and converts them into alcohol. In winemaking, the sugars come from harvested grapes, but in hard seltzer, these come from cane sugar. That's where hard seltzer comes from and the alcohol content comes from. It also could come from malted barley. Well, technically, I would make it a flavored malt beverage like Smirnoff Ice, which is its own separate thing. So we got a little bit different craziness going on here. Like I said, it's very, very, very popular. There's White Claw. There's, I think it's called Barely out there now. There's a number of different huge brands out there now. But Budweiser makes their own. Michelob Ultra makes their own, I think. Like I said, the alcohol content for these are low, only 4 to 6%, which makes it very, very easy to have a glass. See, this is almost like water. It's almost totally clear. And it's not bad. It tastes like flavored carbonated water. You really don't even test alcohol at all. That's what makes it really popular. For those of you guys, those out there that can't handle the taste of like the hops and stuff like that in beer and whatnot, this is an excellent alternative. Like I said, easy, it's refreshing, it's easy to drink, low alcohol content, usually 4 to 6%. You can have a glass or two without getting wasted. And the fewer calories and whatnot, and the fewer carbs, it's a really, really more of a healthy alternative to beer and stuff like that. It's not a healthy drink though, so don't take it up to that, even though it's flavored with different fruits and whatnot. It should not be part of your daily wellness routine. But it is considered a healthier option than traditional sugary drinks, such as soda, wine coolers, and fruity cocktails. There's that too. Healthier than soda. Go figure that one out, right? And like I said, another big thing with hard seltzer too is that it's gluten-free. Beer is not. A lot of people have gluten allergies. Can't have beer. Hard seltzer is a great option for that. Lots of talk about hard seltzer. I'm really excited to get into it. We'll get into that more later this week. And but it's a huge growing thing. It continues to explode. And as you see, if you go down to your, like I said, if you go down your beer aisle in your grocery store, probably half that now is hard seltzer. So it's a pretty neat expansion for something that's only 11 years old. So yeah. All right, you guys, we're going to get into the fun stuff. All right. So I kind of prepared a little bit of a small little like slide deck presentation here. Again, I hope you guys feel comfortable talking, asking questions. If you have comments, if this is not a one-sided story the whole time, feel free to jump in. I'm totally watching chat right now. And again, I'm just going to repeat this one more time. If you start throwing politics in here, if you start being a douchebag, making unnecessary comments and whatnot, you'll be banned immediately. I will not deal with you. I'm not going to accept that. It's not okay. This is an open forum, open discussion. This is a safe space. This is a better space for us to sit here and talk openly about men's mental health awareness, and it's a big deal. Okay. So why is it called Movember? Well, obviously it's a play off November, the month of November, and it's a play off. Men grow mustaches in support in November to show support for mental health awareness. And you can see it. I obviously have a mustache. It's more of a beard, but it's still a mustache. And we're going to talk about the first thing we're going to talk about today is cancer, and the stigma, not stigmas, but the issues with men and the cancers they have to deal with, specifically men. And some of these cancers will tie into women as well. So women, you're not going to be left out here. And I'll share my stories about working for a cancer center for 7.5 years and what I discovered going through all this and my recent experiences with the colonoscopy and all the good stuff. So yes, we will talk about poop here. Great stuff, right? And go into more detail about that. So again, if you have any questions about cancer, feel free to jump in, guys, and ask. I'm here to help you guys out, answer questions and whatnot. So here we go. You guys sit back, relax, enjoy the music. I hope you enjoyed talking about this today. If you feel comfortable talking about this today, and we'll get into it, okay? So cancer. One thing I noticed when I worked at our local cancer clinic here was when I worked there and I was a marketing person there, 80% of the people who went to our website were women. It's almost the exact same number who went to our social media sites were women. Men, we are stubborn a-holes, okay? We don't want to know. It's not manly to talk about our health. And that's stigma number one that's we'll talk about later. That's gotta fucking die. I hate that shit. I hate that shit. Okay? We don't want to know though. We'd rather just suffer in silence. We don't want to go to the doctor. We don't want to deal with it. We are manly, we're tough. We can suffer our way through it and not have a big deal. And a lot of men refuse to get screened for cancers. Because like I said, they don't want to know. They don't want to know if there's a problem. They don't want to deal with it. It's something that if it comes, they accept it, and if it, whatever, they're going to live their life how they want to and deal with the consequences. And that to me is just silly. That to me is just silly. So the most common cancer in men is prostate cancer. But 1 in 8 men develop it in their lifetime. Now, what's interesting about prostate cancer is that the increases with age. And the stigma around prostate cancer was the getting the finger rubber glove up the butt and getting your prostate checked out. Well, that makes me gay. I can't do that. That's not okay. Again, that's another stigma we will talk about later. But what's nice about prostate cancer now, 2 things that's nice about prostate cancer. First one is that prostate cancer now is a blood test, which means there is no excuse not to get it. At the age of 50, every single man out there should be getting the blood test for prostate cancer. Now, what's interesting about prostate cancer is that, yes, the increase of the risk of it increases over time with age. Prostate cancer is not one that's going to kill you, more often than not. Men can live with prostate cancer for a very, it's a PCR test, yes. Men can live with prostate cancer for a very long time. It's a very slow-growing cancer. However, prostate cancer can also lead to other cancers. If it spreads, if it goes out to the rest of the body and whatnot, it can turn into other things. That's why we need to keep an eye on prostate cancer and make sure that it is not there and we're not dealing with it and all the good stuff. Guys, very simple blood test. Talk to your primary care provider. Get it taken care of. Age of 50, you should all be going in and get that done. I'm sure all of us can handle a little needle in the skin to get some blood and get it checked out, guys, okay? That should be an easy one. But because of the stigma with the whole, finger up the butt thing and everything else before, it was low. Now it's a blood test, and I think we can do a lot better job on that specific one for sure. Before we get into ones that are are across the spectrum, both men and women. The other one, specifically for men, is testicular cancer. Yes, guys, we're going to talk about your balls. We're going to sit here and talk about your nuts today, and you're going to be comfortable with it because you better be freaking checking it out. And here's what's most interesting about testicular cancer is that everybody thinks, a lot of people think that testicular cancer is, hey, Pooties, welcome to this channel, to the stream. Glad you're here. A lot of people think cancers in general are for old people. Okay, who here can anyone guess what the age range of testicular cancer is in men? Any guesses? Wait for a sec, see if anybody has any guesses. 20 to 80, fair guess, fair guess. Any of the guesses on the age range for testicular cancer? Going once, going twice. All right. 15 to 35. Testicular cancer is a young man's cancer. It is the most common cancer in men, ages 15 to 35. What's most interesting is it's one of the most curable cancers out there as well. Now, here's where it gets fun, okay, guys? Testicular cancer is actually very easy to detect. It's very similar to breast cancer, okay? You want to get in there and you want to feel up your nuts, guys. I know it's weird. I know we don't want to talk about this stuff. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about all the hard stuff today, okay? So we're not evading anything. Get in there, see if there's anything lumps. There's a heaviness in your scrotum. You have a dull ache in your lower belly or groin. If your age range is 15 to 35, and a lot of you younger streamers are, so you better not be skipping up on this shit. You should get in there, you check in your testicles, make sure things are operating okay, make sure everything looks okay, make sure you're not feeling any pain, anything like that. Get it looked at. Again, this is a very, very simple thing that we all should be doing. And oftentimes, us men, us stubborn freaking men, rely on our female partners or our whoever our partners are to kick our asses and get us in gear to get this stuff done. And it's mostly women doing the work, and it shouldn't be. We should be on our lookout for our own health, and it's 15 to 35 is the age range. That's it. It's very rare outside age 35, like stupendously rare. There's that. All right. So prostate blood test, guys. These are the first two. These are the first ones just for men. Okay. Prostate, easy blood test. Testicular cancer, easy ball fondle. Get in there, check it out. If you feel anything wrong in there or whatnot, go get it looked at. Okay. This is ages 15 to 35. For a lot of you younger male streamers out there, there are a lot of you. You should be checking out your nuts, guys. I'm going to be gross about this. I don't care. You are off hook on that one. Yes. Should be checking this stuff out. There's nothing wrong with going in there and taking a look. It's not hard to do. Okay. The shower, wherever. Okay. You got to get in there and take a look and make sure everything's going okay. It's a curable cancer. Nothing to be afraid of. I think a lot of guys get afraid of this stuff and they just don't want to deal with it. And you guys can't be afraid of this stuff. Okay. You got to get in there. This easy stuff that, well, good. I'm glad you did. Every guy should, at least once, for sure. You guys should get in there and just take a peek, guys. It's not hard. This isn't hard stuff. Should be not difficult stuff at all. Okay. Now getting into the cancers that are across both spectrums, with men and women. Okay. And the second most common cancer in men in the U.S. Can anyone guess what that cancer is? Any guesses? Go on, good guess. Very good guess. Any other guesses on the second most common cancer of men in the U.S.? Don't Google it. All right, fair enough. Going once, going twice. Lung cancer. For the love of fuck, stop smoking. Honestly, guys, please, please, please stop smoking. please. This is an easy one. Another easy cancer that can be prevented. Stop fucking smoking. Stop it. That includes vaping. Stop vaping, stop smoking. Now, we can get more into marijuana stuff later on and the different health risks and benefits about that. Because there are health risks with marijuana too. But regular cigarettes are the most common cause of smoking. I'm glad, high five, please. Glad you quit 14 years ago. High five. This goes to both men. It's the most common cancer in men, but it's very common in women too, okay? Stop fucking smoking. I can't even tell you. No benefit from smoking. No benefit. Okay, there's nothing. And chances are you're gonna get lung cancer, and lung cancer is a killer. Because lung cancer, you won't even know something's wrong, oftentimes till stages 3 and 4, and then at that point you are dead. I'm gonna share a story about this. My uncle was a smoker. I'm sorry, not my uncle. My grandma's husband. I guess he was my grandpa-in-law or something like that. I don't know. Really cool guy. He's a heavy smoker. And he died of lung cancer, shocking. When he died and they opened him up, guys, they scooped out 2 quarts of slime out of his lungs. Half a gallon of sludge out of his lungs. I can't say and appreciate this enough. Stop smoking. Please stop smoking. Okay? It's not doing you any good at all. You can throw all the scary ads at you all you want. Men, we should be calling out other men that are smoking. It's not cool. Not okay. Now, a lot of lung cancer too, though, has also come from various, employment in the past. Like when health and safety was not the top priority, and people got lung cancer from, mining and mining and asbestos and stuff like that. It's gotten better, but smoking still is the #1 cause, and it's got to die. I wish the smoking industry would just fade off into nothing because no one's buying them anymore. It's not cool. It's not good for you. Stop doing it, okay? Jafasi, you mentioned colon cancer. The 4th most common cancer in the United States is colorectal cancer or colon cancer. Now, this is a tough one, okay? Because again, we have a stigma again with this, and it is someone shoving something up my ass to poke around in there. And God Almighty, I can't have that. That makes me gay, or that makes me not a man, or less of a man, or whatever. And that, guys, that's a stigma, like I said, we'll talk about later. But for love of fuck, stop worrying about that. There's no reason to even think about that. You're taking charge of your health, and a man who takes charge of his health, I can't even high five them enough. Good for you. You should be doing that. And colorectal cancer is a brutal one. If you do not catch this, it's going to kill you. And by the time you find out normally, you are dead. 99% of the time, you start shitting out blood, you're dead, guys. It's just that simple, all right? Stage 4 colorectal cancer is super, super common. It is not a good thing. It's horrible. And they just lowered the age range now for colorectal cancer. This goes for both men and women. Colorectal cancer down from 50 to 45 because it's happening to younger people now. And that should scare you. And you should go in and get that colonoscopy. You should go in and deal with the prep and deal with crapping out in your toilet for 4 hours and drinking awful things, and then going in and getting it done, getting checked out, and making sure that that's not spreading throughout your body, because you do not want that. Okay, this is a bad one. This is a really bad one. It's going to happen if you're not paying attention to it. Even if you're at average risk, and that's pretty much everybody, you should go in and get a colonoscopy. These are simple things, guys. These are simple things that stigmas are preventing us from doing. A lot, especially to men. Women are much, much better at dealing with their health than men are. I mean, I can't hide 10 women enough. And they are much better at taking care of the health than men are. And that needs to change really, really badly. The stigmas need to die. And you guys have got to get around that. When I went in for my colonoscopy. I was on the bed, and they had like dance music playing and whatnot. It was hilarious. And they had TVs, and I was making jokes. They were making jokes. I was talking for a second. I was out. 15 minutes later, I was waking up in my bed, back in the main room, in the your little nurse room, or your operating room, not operating room, but the, you know what I mean, the staging room. Don't even feel a thing, not a thing. I was done. I was clean. And 10, 15 years from now, I go back and do it again. And it's just something that, again, this is a simple process. A simple process that we need to be on top of and taking care of, guys. Recovery room. Thank you. I don't know why I can't think of that. We're back in the operating room again. Oh my goodness. So there's that. A couple more cancers I'm going to go over here real quick. Yet. This is a less common one. Much less common one. But it's bladder cancer. Again, this can happen in both men and women. But men are 4 times more likely to be diagnosed with bladder cancer than women are. It can come from smoking, shock, exposure to harmful chemicals such as those in the dye industry, taking diabetes medications, radiation therapy of the pelvis, prior chemotherapy, chronic bladder infections or irritations. Like I said, this is not a very common one, but it does exist. It's often diagnosed early, which is good. It's highly treatable, which is good. Not a whole lot I can do about this one, really. Again, smoking, guys. There's another one. Stop it. Stop smoking. Okay? Stop it. Please stop it. Who can guess what the most common type of cancer is in the United States? Pooties, you're correct. High five to Pooties. Bam. Skin cancer is the most common type of cancer in the US, and it's the one that's most preventable. That's what's sad about it. Most common, most preventable. Okay? This one should be brain dead, easy to fix, but for some reason it's not, right? We all want that healthy tan look. You know, we're all on our boats, we're out swimming. It's not manly to put on sunscreen. Man. That manly stigma, guys, is going to get you killed. And that's another stigma, again, we'll talk about later. The stigmas around men that need to go away. Sunscreen. Okay, don't be on the sun for too long. Don't fucking fake bake. I can't tell you this enough. Don't go for a tan. Don't do it. Those machines are horrible. I'm gonna go for a tan, go get a spray tan. You can go out in the sun. The sun's great. Sun provides you vitamin E. It balances your mood. Oh, thank you. Brittany, thank you so much for the cheer. Appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this super hot. Hey, you know what? Some of the stuff we're talking about today applies to women too. And when I was a fact I gave earlier was when I worked at our local cancer clinic here for 7.5 years, 80% of the traffic to both our website and our social media sites are women. Women are much better taking care of their health than men are, and often it's the partners of men who push men to go get their stuff done. And I'm glad they do that, but men need to be better at it themselves. So skin cancer, guys. Skin cancer. This again. We all want to be out in the sun. Sun's healthy. It makes us feel good. Vitamin E is always great. So herping him always good. Good. I'm glad you are. It's awesome. That's very cool. I love that. And this one's vitamin D. Sun has a lot of benefits, guys. But limit your time out in the sun. Okay. Apply that sunscreen on a daily or on an hourly basis. Don't sit there and bask in the sunshine and forget about doing these simple things. Okay, skin cancer, and like I said before, do not go fake baking. It is horrible for you. Don't go do it. It's terrible. Skin cancer is easy to see, often easy to detect, but there are some spots that it can grow that you're not going to be able to see very well, like your back, or in your groin area, or like on your head, or behind your head. Okay? Skin cancer, if it gets away from you, it often metastasizes into something else, and that is where death comes from skin cancer, guys. Skin cancer is brutal in terms of being able to spread and metastasize throughout other areas of your body, and if that happens, you may as well forget about it. If you have a mole or something like that you're not sure of, go on and get it checked out. It's super easy to do. If they catch it super early, they can just cut it off real easy. They go and send it in for tests, see where you're at. Again, these are super easy things to take care of, guys. And there's no reason for these cancers to be as common as they are. If you're in there doing the tests for them, get them taken care of, and whatnot, and just being on top of your health. There's no reason that men should not be on top of their health. And I'm tired of hearing about the stigmas. I'm tired of hearing about it's not manly enough. I'm tired about hearing about, gosh, getting the prostate cancer, getting a finger in my butt makes me gay, or colorectal cancer, getting a tube on my butt makes me gay, or something like that. Stop it. Stop it. There's no reason for any of this. Okay? Kill the stigmas. And we'll get into stigmas, like I said, in a little bit here. But kill the stigmas. They need to die. Okay? They need to die. To me, it makes you more of a man to go in and get this stuff done than it is to, well, I can't do that. That's manly. It's not manly. Can't take care of it. It's not manly. Bah. That's just stupid. You want to be manly and a dumbass? Okay, I guess it's on you. That's pretty much your being right now. Not anything else. Okay. The other cancers in men that are out there too, pancreatic cancer, that's a bad one. Liver cancer, again, drinking. Liver cancer, guys. Yes, I drank on stream. Limit your drinking. If you feel like you have a problem, go do something about it. Okay? We gotta kill our pride here. Okay? It's our pride, our stubbornness that are causing these issues, these stigmas that are causing these issues. There's no reason. There is zero. No one can come in the chat today and tell me a reason why we can't do these things. In the morning between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. It's really dependent on where you live in the world. Strong sun, and it's a myth that sunscreen affects vitamin D production. And there you go. I'm glad you guys are participating. It's great. I don't want this to be a one-sided lecture. If you guys have questions, comments, or anything like that, please chime in. Please talk about it. I will just, again, a quick reminder again, if you come in here, you bring in politics, you start making inappropriate comments, I will ban you. It'll be instantaneously. Myself or Jafasta will do it. I don't want any of that shit in here. This is an open forum. This is a safe space. This is a better space to talk about this stuff. I'm not going to tolerate any crap, guys. So we should be talking about this stuff on a daily basis. So we should not wait for. Yeah, I'm not a therapist either, but just throwing that out there, okay? Persistent pain, guys. No matter where the location is, maybe the first sign that something's wrong. Okay. Again, this is what really bothers me here is. Oh, it'll go away. It's just pain. I don't have to worry about it. Go in. Go in. This stuff should be easy. All these cancers we talked about today. Prostate, lung, testicular, bladder, skin, colorectal. It kind of was a blood story. I don't know if I was pooping or peeing at one point. It was kind of gross. I don't know what I'm talking about because we're not all dealing with this at some point. But all these cancers, guys, I mentioned today are preventable. If you man up, be a man, okay? Be a real man. And get on top of these cancers, guys. These are all preventable cancers, okay? All preventable cancers, okay? Does anybody have any questions about cancer? Ways to prevent cancer? Does anybody have a cancer story they'd like to share? I almost guarantee you that everyone here has a cancer story that either dealt with personally, a family member has dealt with, you watched a family member deal with, or you've had friends that deal with it. I have many. I've got many cancer stories. I'm happy to share them with you guys. But I think we've all seen it in some way, shape, or form. If you're comfortable sharing with that, I'd love it. If not, that's totally okay too. But I can almost guarantee that we've all have cancer stories at some point. I'll check out mine if you guys are typing in and whatnot. I had a grandfather died of lung cancer. My aunt here recently passed away from not from breast cancer. In fact, she fought off breast cancer, the aggressive kind of breast cancer, only died from ovarian cancer after that. My mom has leukemia. It is, they call old man's leukemia. But he's a uterine cancer survivor. Oh, someone being a survivor. But he's, if you don't mind me asking, how did you catch that? Were you on top of it? Was it ovarian cancer? Was it pain? Did you get it checked out like a test? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I'm just asking out there. Ovarian cancer is a very serious cancer for women. Very soon. Stepdad died of lung cancer. Yeah, sure. I got really fat. Oh, I remember this. Yeah. Big old tumor. And you weren't even sure what was going on because you just thought it was weight, right? I remember you talking about this. Pound mass. Wasn't that benign though, or did they remove it to find the cancer in there? I thought that was benign. It was not benign. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember pulling that one. It's my bad. Stage 2. Guys, finding cancers early is critical. Okay. Stage 1 and 2 cancers are incredibly treatable, most oftentimes curable. You get into that stage 3, stage 4, your ability to survive at that point goes way down. It's not even close. Okay. Like I said, all the cancers we talked about today, prostate, lung, colorectal, testicular, bladder, skin, these are all preventable cancers, guys. Stage 4 is the last one, yes. That's pretty much the death stage for a lot of cancers. Now, that's not always the case. People have cured stage 4 cancer. They have gotten through it. It's rough. But it also depends what kind of cancer you have, too. There's that as well. My aunt was a survivor of stage 4 breast cancer. So it just depends how you want to go about it. You know, or what cancer it is, too. But stuff like stage 4 lung cancer or stage 4 colorectal cancer, good luck. That's almost a death sentence for sure. Not always, but it certainly can be, or would be. I know cancer is a lot to deal with. The words "you have cancer" are probably the worst phrase of wording you could possibly hear in your entire life. Like I said, all this cancer we talked about today, guys, are preventable. And I know that I have to get back to slurry now. I like the term butt slurry. I'm never having a slurpee again. But all these cancers, like I said, are preventable. It's a winnable battle a lot of the time now. And I know it. You don't want to think about it. I know it's not something you want to deal with. And if you ever hear those words, it's going to affect your mental health. But it's something we got to stay on top of, guys. And a lot of these have very common testing to get it done. And if you get in there and get it done, it's stuff you don't have to worry about anymore. Okay? I encourage you to get in your screenings, guys. I can't say it enough. I'm always going to be on top of screenings. There's no reason not to be. All right? All right, we're going to move on, guys, to the next topic at hand. And that's mental health. This will be a more difficult conversation, I think. we talk about mental health here and the stigma surrounding it. And obviously, this is focused on men, but it does not have to be. Women, if you have stories you'd like to share too, then by all means, step forward. Again, this is a safe, open space. This is a safe, better space. If anyone ever harasses you after this, or anybody ever harasses you in stream after this, or during this, they're gone, okay? I want you guys to feel safe and comfortable. If you guys ever need to talk or anything like that afterwards, you can message me on Discord, you can message me on Twitch, message me on any of my social media sites. I'm happy to talk to you. I am not a therapist. I'm not a licensed psychologist or anything like that. I'm just sharing with you my experiences with mental health, my battles with mental health, which I'll go into here in just a sec. And if you want to share your stories with mental health too, I would be happy to listen to you. If you feel comfortable doing that, if you don't, that's okay. I understand. It's not an easy thing to talk about, but we should be talking about it, okay? Okay. So I'm going to share my story with mental health, and kind of a long story here. It kind of goes over different things and whatnot. Just things I've experienced, and as I've gotten older, how I change things around, what my attitude pretty much is now. I think that kind of comes with age a little bit. When we're younger and whatnot, especially in the age of social media, it's gotten a lot more difficult. It was hard for me back then. I can't imagine how hard it is for people now, especially with social media and stuff like that. So my story begins when I was actually really young, and you guys don't usually see me with my headphones off, but if you can't tell, I have slightly pointed ears. See them a little bit? It's not like bad, but it's slightly pointed. A little bit there. And when I was younger, I was teased mercilessly about it. Called Spock and called an elf, or Lucky from like the cute little elf guy. Just harassed about it all the time. My pointy ears, and that crushed my self-esteem. This is in grade school. We're all out in the playground and stuff like that. That crushed my self-esteem, and really made it difficult to handle. Kids are mean, right? And it's just how it is. And with social media now these days, I can't even imagine what it is at this point. But that's what I dealt with growing up, was making fun of my ears, And it did not help that my mom at the time was what they call, I don't know what they call them now. We called them duties back then. The people that are out watching the kids and blowing the whistles on them and stuff like that. My mom was not ready to let us go, right, or be a stay-at-home mom. So she wanted to get a job where she could still be around us. Well, thank you so much, Jeannie. I really appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. These are tough topics to talk about. I think we need to discuss them. And again, this is focused on men today. But if you women have stories, I'm happy to have you guys bring those up. I don't want to limit it to just men, but Jeannie, I appreciate you coming by and supporting. So thank you very much. Yeah. So that crushed my self-esteem. And when my mom was working there, she'd get my friends and stuff in trouble for doing whatever they were doing. And of course, it was their fault, right? But they were kids. And when they got in trouble, they blamed me. And so not only was I getting my self-esteem crushed on, I was losing friends on top of everything else. And so my self-esteem was just crap. I hated middle school. I was going into middle school, and the teasing and stuff got worse in middle school. In fact, to the point where I was projecting that teasing onto me and being angry towards other kids and picking on them. So I was taking that teasing, that anger that was being tossed in my way, and projecting it on other people and picking on those guys. And I was becoming the bully during middle school, and that was just shitty. And again, we were kids, and there's a lot of lessons to learn there. But that's where I took that. And high school and whatnot. And I was a nerd, a total nerd. I had a small group of friends, and we'd play like D&D in the library and stuff like that. And again, high school gets worse. We were picked on really bad in high school for being nerds and stuff like that. When I went to the high school I went to, they actually had it was the final year they did this. Excuse me, but I was a freshman at the time, and they did freshman hazing. And so the seniors would get print out a list of all the freshmen coming to the high school, and they would walk into the lunchroom, and they'd start calling out names. And if they found out who you were, they'd actually come physically grab you, and they'd throw you in the dumpster. Or they gave you a swirly, or they dumped food all over the school symbol that was etched in the ground and made you clean it up. Well, they did other horrible things too, and that was actually a thing in high school. It was actually allowed in high school, and that they killed it after that year, so that was done after there. But that was another thing on top of all the teasing and everything else about being a nerd and whatnot. And I was given a wedgie in gym class one time, and just stuff like that, where you got picked on, and the self-esteem problem continued. And when I got out of high school, my self-esteem remained where it was. And I remember one time, it was awful. It was horrible. Now I get freshman hazing, that was a thing, but that level, it was really bad. It was really bad. I remember to this day, when my self-esteem was at and whatnot, I was working at Office Depot at the time, and it was my second job. I started working at 15 and a half years old. It was craziness. My second job was at Office Depot, and couldn't work there till you're 18. So I was out of school then. And I remember, I was a twig. I was really thin. I was fit and athletic, but not like muscly or anything like that. I was just kind of a beanpole kind of thing. Of course, my self-esteem was still not very good. I remember working there, and this super attractive girl. I remember her vividly. I mean, it's crazy that some of the memories that stick with us. The super attractive brunette walks in, and I'm like doing something in the electronics aisle or whatever, and she asked me about something about electronics, and I show her something, and I hand it over to her, give her advice, and she goes, "Wow, you have really hairy knuckles." To this day, I can't stop shaving my knuckles. So the stuff that sticks with you when you have poor self-esteem is hard. It's hard to deal with. And those stigmas really just are really hard to accept. They're really hard to get past. As time went on, and I went up to college and whatnot, and I thought college was even though college for my particular major didn't really help me out that whole lot, but it was a really great experience, being by yourself and living around and whatnot. I started to work out and get going through that more and more confident, but I still had that stigma about being a nerd, right? So I was a gamer. I was big into like MMOs. I was spending a lot of time in those, playing EverQuest and stuff like that at the time. So that was my doorbell thing. And so I was getting my self-esteem was slowly rising, but I still had that stigma of, I'm a gamer. Okay, I was still kind of a nerd. Why would any girl date a nerd? That stigma, I've dealt with for a long time. To the point where the frustration and the rage from being pegged into a hole, and all the beliefs that went with it, right? He's not grown up to be anything. You waste his time on a computer. Nobody's going to date him because he's a gamer. And all that stuff I dealt with, and so a lot of time was spent on the computer, and that frustration stuff was coming out. Where I'd throw a controller, break a controller, I'd break a keyboard, and in my early 30s, I was angry, and eventually, what changed it for me was, this is kind of funny. Actually, it's not really funny because, again, I'm just happy that people are more open to talking about this stuff. But what changed it for me was that Ryan Reynolds coming out saying he had anxiety. Here you have a man that hit the genetic lottery and is funny and everybody loves him. And it stunned me. It stunned me to death. This man's coming out and saying, I struggle with anxiety. And that blew me away. And it was at that point I realized that I got to do something about this. And what changed me at that point was getting on an anti-anxiety med. Now, again, we have stigmas, right? And again, we'll talk about the stigmas. And that I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it for the longest time because, you know, people don't think I'm crazy, or people don't think I'm unstable, or you know, whatever thought. I sat there and followed those thoughts. I sat there and dealt with the fact that nobody's going to want to. People wouldn't date me before. They're not going to date me now if I'm on freaking crazy pills, right? But I tell you what, guys, the anti-anxiety med changed my life for the better. It really did. I can't even explain it to you how much it did. I wish if I gave myself one piece of advice in the past, it would have been to get on this stuff a lot earlier. It swept, and it doesn't make me robotic. It doesn't make me not care or anything like that. I'm still just as emotional and just as passionate about things as I ever was. But the stuff that used to bother me doesn't anymore. The stuff that I don't give a flying fuck what people think anymore. I really don't. I'm going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to go out and focus on the things that bring me joy. And I don't care what other people think about them. If I'm here streaming and whatnot, I'm having a great time, I'm going to go do that because that's what I love. And getting emotional, sorry.
Stretches lazily sleepy time. Don't mind if I do. Snoozing is my specialty. Z.
And
Lol.
just stop ignoring what other people think. Because I guarantee you that those people have no idea what this world is about. They have no idea what people can experience here and how free people can be with themselves. And that ignorance, I laugh at now. It's like, you guys don't get it. And if you're going to judge people and not at least try to understand what they're doing, then you know there's no point. And that's what really further changed my life at that point was I'm going to be me. I want to be me. And as soon as I got into that, guys, I can't even explain it to you. As soon as I got into accepting the fact that these are the things I love doing and I'm going to go do them, things changed. Things changed. I'm going to go do what makes me happy. And damn everybody else. And if people want to come along for the ride, great. And if they don't, you know, fuck them. I guarantee you that when you're happy doing something, you're going to attract other people to you because it shows. If you're happy on stream and playing games or doing whatever you're doing on stream, it shows up. People will notice this and they'll be attracted to you because of it. They'll want to watch you because you're just having such a great time. That doesn't have to be streaming, it can be about anything. I think that really changes how things work. And I've seen a lot of posts getting in the whole streaming side of things in terms of like socialness, social networks, stuff like that. That we have ad breaks for you guys in 1 minute. I'll go and stop here, or at least pause when the ad break hits. But I've noticed a lot of stuff. Social media posts about saying that people get upset or, they want to stop streaming when people come in and talk about their streams or talk negatively about them, saying that, God, you're ugly, or your streaming sucks, you're terrible at this game. And I'm gonna go into that more once the ad break hits, guys. So we'll go ahead and take a break here real quick. We'll get more into mental health here in a little bit. I'm going to continue that story. Let's all take a break here, though. Come back in a couple minutes here once the ad's down to 15 seconds. Hang out. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to take a little bit of a break myself, and we'll get back to it. So, looking at me. We'll be right back. We'll get right back to you guys. So, ad break starting here in just a couple seconds, and yeah, be right back.
Clears throat and meows loudly. Alright, furrians, it's time for a quick break. But don't worry, I'll be back soon with more perfect puns and jokes. Stay tuned. Lol.
No, you can't anymore. About a minute and a half left in the ad break, guys. Because you're a subscriber, nerd. I'm entertaining. I'm not gonna do it now. Screw you. Nice. Watch the damn ads. I'm gonna make you watch the damn ads. I'm gonna make you watch the damn ads. Can I force my viewers to watch ads? It'd be really funny if I could. All right, ad break's almost over. 20 seconds to go. Did I get the wine? What wine? That Italian wine you told me about? No, I have not yet. No. I had Christmas shopping idea. That's bankrupting me at the moment. All right, guys, we are back from the ad. All right. One thing I wanted to go into before I get into the whole overall aspect of mental health was I've seen, go back a little bit here, I've seen a lot of posts about people getting upset or getting angry or wanting to quit streaming because some random Joe walks in on the stream and starts, spouting off about, their attractiveness level or how crap they are at the game or blah, blah, blah. And I talked about this a little bit in my 12 tips for streamers. And it's easier for me now because I just don't care anymore. And I get how it might be difficult for others, but guys, you can't let Joe Blow upset you. You're doing what you love. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do what you love or you should do it a different way based on what they say. Especially some random asshole off that nobody knows or cares about, right? These guys are off in their mom's basement somewhere. They're jealous of what you're doing. They probably wish they could do it themselves, but they're probably too stupid or whatever to get it done, and so they have to bring out the rage in somebody else. When that happens, guys, just laugh at them, thank them from the added viewer count, ban them, and move on. And keep doing what you love. And I guess that's what I've learned from my personal journey is just keep doing what you love, guys. And if you guys have personal journeys you want to share, you're welcome to. If you don't, that's totally fine. I'm not going to pressure you guys into doing so, but don't be afraid to ask questions about, my experiences or, whatever. I'm a very open individual, so I don't have any problem talking about that stuff. So, yeah. All right. So we're going to get into why men's mental health is important. Now, that is I'm going to put that in quotes because all mental health is important. But men in particular struggle with mental health more. And there's a lot of reasons why. And we'll go back into the stigmas here in just a little bit. But we'll talk primarily about men. But again, women, I encourage you to share your stories as well. We're going to be focused on, obviously, men for the right now, time being. But what's really interesting is that mental illnesses are more prevalent in women than men. Go figure. But men suffering from mental illness are less likely to receive mental health treatment or diagnosis. Shocking. I'm being sarcastic. Many reasons why. And again, you guys already heard my reasons why. People think I'm crazy. People think I'm unstable. No one's going to date someone taking crazy pills. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of people actually do take them anyway. But it changed my life. It changed my life for the better. And if you're really having issues with things, I'd go in and check it out and try it out and see if it helps you, because it really, really, really helped me. Like I said, there are many reasons for this, and one of them is the pressure men face to man up or tough it out. Stigma, man, we're getting into words about stigmas. Speaking out, is that it seems as a form of weakness or not manly. Men, it's a horrible fucking phrase. To me, you're more of a man, or I feel like I'm more of a man going in and getting myself checked than toughing it out. That's just bullshit. You can't tough out cancer. Just got done talking about that. You're not gonna be able to tough out mental illness too. There's no toughing it out, guys. There's no dealing with it and not going in and getting help for it. Can't, and it's gonna end up being more negative on you as time goes on, versus being more of a before actually believing you can just handle it. All right. Ugh. Get my drink here real quick. Men feeling depression and anxiety or any other mental health illness is not unusual and is nothing to feel ashamed of. But again, I think this is a lot of guys being on top of other guys, making them feel ashamed about it. That pressure, peer pressure, that bro pressure, and that needs to die. Man, we should be doing a lot better than that. There's no reason for it. We should be encouraging it, not dissuading it. And I don't understand why it's got to be. Why it has to be about manning up. There's nothing about manning up about dying to cancer because you decided you didn't want to get checked. There's nothing about There's nothing manly about losing yourself to mental health because you You couldn't handle it. And you're not going to be able to handle it. I don't understand why that stigma is there. We need to, as men, we need to call out other men. We see that out there, we got to get on top of that stuff. Say, hey man, that's not okay. It's actually better for them to go in and get it checked. That's on us. It's not anybody else. That's on us. It's not on women in our lives. It's not on our partners. It's not on anybody else but us to call that shit out, because it doesn't need to be happening at all. Other reasons that may impact a men's mental health journey are culture, which can't do anything about that, sadly. Some cultures just the way they are, and that's a much more difficult road to face and deal with. Fatherhood, race, socioeconomic status. Some of those are just really hard to deal with. And they are awful stigmas, and I don't know how you get around those. And I think the only way you can get around those, especially with culture, fatherhood, and whatnot, is, you know, get to that age of 18, get out and seek help for yourself. If you're really dealing with something like that, that would be a terrible thing to deal with. I can't imagine having to go through that. I'm going to give another example of my story here. My dad's a wonderful parent. He really is. But he does not talk about this stuff at all. And he refuses to do so. And he's got his own set of issues, but just a primary example of, and I can't talk about it with him either. It's just not ever going to be a thing. So again, that's fatherhood, right? Where I had to seek outside, you know, either friends or PCP or whatever to help me out with this stuff. And again, these are some of these stigmas are so deeply embedded that it's going to take a stick of dynamite to get through them. But if we all start working at it, it's something we can get past. We just all got to put our step forward and get it done. 1 in 10 men experience depression or anxiety. Less than half will receive treatment, and more than 4 times as many men as women die by suicide every year. Let that sink in for a second. Four times as many men. What's super interesting too is that symptoms of physical depression was because of a chronic illness. No, I was watching closely. I will definitely continue talking about this. Yeah, I know your story, Jeannie. I know I've talked about it before. I'm glad you're talking about it now. You know, being a parent and letting your children talk to you, I think, is critical. Is just a huge thing. I think parents is one of the easy things probably changing that list. Culture and race, maybe not so much, but you know, we'll get there. If we all keep trying, we'll get there. Hey, Tori, welcome to the stream.
Welcome, Dory Farm.
We'll be talking about some tough stuff today, but I think it's good to be talking about. If you have anything you'd like to share or questions, comments as we go along, please feel free to do so. Like I said, we're focusing on men's health, but you're always welcome to chime in as well. And yeah, so. What's interesting too is that mental illness is different in men from women. And the signs for both are, that's good. That's a great thing, Jeannie. The more talking, the better. A lot of things can be solved by just talking. A lot of things can be solved. A lot of us don't do it, which is sad. And recognize the signs in both can mean the difference between helping someone out. For many mental health disorders, men are less likely to speak up and get treatment. Again, shocking, not really. They're also less likely to be diagnosed because of this. And knowing the statistics can help raise awareness about men's mental health, encourage men to take a step towards getting treatment, and validate the feelings men with mental health disorders may be experiencing. And I think that's the hardest part, is the validation. That's what I dealt with for a long time. You know, I was terrified that I was going to be ousted as someone who's on anti-anxiety meds. I was going to be some leper that no one wanted to talk to anymore. Temples here for anxiety and depression still do. Stop, I don't know how much things you find in the machine. You ever talked about anyone about that, Chifasa? Like a therapist or anything, or whatnot? It's good that you mostly feel fine. I mean, that's a good thing. I think talking with a therapist and Pinkbert's husband and Jafasa there too, that's another horrible stigma. I think a lot more people talk to therapists than they'll ever tell you about. I think talking to a therapist is a super nice way to just let go of some things that you shouldn't have to deal with. I've done that myself in the past. My mom's done that. It's really helpful, and a lot of insurances like cover it now. Every now and then for 20 years. Yeah. That's actually a good thing. Nothing wrong with being in therapy. Nothing wrong with taking medication. These are the stigmas that we have to get past. We have to every time you guys see it, every time that see someone making fun of someone that's on doing any of those things, we gotta get on top of them and say, yo, that's not okay. If we all start doing that, I think we can really start to right the ship on that stuff. Though men account for about 10% of patients with bulimia or anorexia, men with an eating disorder are less likely to seek professional help. Again, shocking. Over 6 million men suffer from depression per year. Male depression often goes underdiagnosed. Again, none of this is a surprise, right? More than 3 million men in the US have panic disorder, agoraphobia, or any other phobia. 3 million men. 2.3 million Americans are affected by bipolar disorder, and an equal amount of men and women develop the illness. The age of onset for men is between 16 to 25 years old. Here's a crazy stat that blew my mind, guys. I think this one will blow your mind too. One of the leading causes of disability in America is schizophrenia. Approximately 3.5 million people in the US have been diagnosed. And 90% of those who are diagnosed by age 30 are men. How much of that do you think goes undiagnosed? Probably most of it. Read that one again. One of the leading causes of disability in America is schizophrenia. Approximately 3.5 million people in the US have been diagnosed. And 90% of those who are diagnosed by age 30 are men. That's just those who have been diagnosed. Yeah. People I know with schizoaffective disorder are men. Yeah. Now, how crazy of a stat is that? Now, 3.5 million diagnosed. How many do you think are undiagnosed? Probably quite a bit. Probably quite a bit. That number really stunned me. 90%. Warning signs and symptoms.
Yawn, sleepy time.
Wait for Amanda to stop talking here.
Let me know if you need a nap buddy. Lol.
I have no doubt about that. You know, homeless is a big issue, not where I live, but on the west side of the state where I live. I have no doubt that homeless population are a huge part of the undiagnosed. Absolutely. Warning signs and symptoms. Men and women can develop most of the same mental disorders and conditions, but may experience different symptoms and develop different coping tools. Again, women, you're much better at dealing with health than us men are, and it's sad, but it needs to change. So high five to you women. Us men suck, and we need to get better at it. When depression occurs in men, it may be masked by unhealthy coping behaviors. Again, shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Excuse me. Symptoms of mental health disorders in men may look like this. Escapist behavior, such as spending a lot of time in work or on sports. Physical symptoms such as headaches, digestive problems, and pain. Misuse of alcohol and/or drugs. Controlling violent or abusive behavior. Anger, irritability, or aggressiveness, inappropriate anger. Risky behaviors such as reckless driving. Noticeable changes in mood, energy level or appetite. Difficulty concentrating, feeling restless, or on edge. How many people know a guy like that? I do. I'm not talking about myself, but I know men like that. Both men and women can experience these symptoms. Feeling sad, hopeless, or empty. Feeling extremely tired. Having difficulty sleeping or sleeping too much. Not getting pleasure from activities usually enjoyed. Suicidal thoughts. Male depression and suicide. We're going to talk about suicide here later on, probably the last topic we talk about here in the stream today. Although women attempt suicide more often than men do, men are more likely to complete suicide. That's because men use methods that are most likely to cause death, such as guns. May act more impulsively on suicidal thoughts. Show fewer warning signs, shocking, such as talking about suicide. Now we're getting into the stigmas and how we can create positive change towards this. For me, I'm going to reference my story again. And again, guys, I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a psychologist at all. I'm just sharing my experiences and what worked for me. It'll be different for everybody. But there's some really common ground here I think we can all come across that I've dealt with in the past. I dealt with stigmas. I dealt with low self-esteem. I dealt with depression. I dealt with anxiety. Dealt with all those things. And I think some of it can be age-related, where you get to the age where you're just like, screw it, I don't give a shit anymore, right? That certainly helped. But getting out there and talking to someone about it, even talking to your PCP and say, hey, you know, I'm feeling angry. I need to see what I can help you settle down a little bit and go through testing different things. You can start, sertraline is which I'm on, is a very benign thing. It can start off very, very low and see if it just helps you out a little bit. And if it does, increase a little bit more and see if you can get there. There's a lot of different ways we can do it. I think that one of the biggest things, I said this earlier, but I think one of the biggest things we can do is, if we ever see someone speaking negatively about therapy or negatively about seeking treatment or getting on or taking a pill for something, that we need to get on top of that and say, yo, that's not okay. That's not something that should be dealt with. That's not something that you should be ragging on. We should be supporting that person being strong enough to seek that help. Men think strength is blocking it out, ignoring it, and being a man and manning up. And being a man is having that strength to go take care of yourself, guys. There's a huge difference. This is not going to get you anywhere. In fact, it's probably going to get you killed. This is going to take you on a much better journey right here. We're talking about stigmas here, guys, and stigmas are I think obviously what hold us back a lot in terms of moving forward with all these different things and whatnot. So facing the challenge of a mental health disorder is difficult enough, but another layer of pain comes with mental health conditions. Dealing with others' reactions to them. I couldn't imagine if you were someone that was depressed or anxious or feeling like you had a mental disorder and you had a friend come up to you and say, yo, you're crazy, or something like that. I can't even fathom that. That would almost be worse than having the disorder itself. There's a lot we deal with, guys. And when I was growing up, you know, I'm an older guy. When I was growing up, we didn't have social media till way later. We didn't have all this electronic stuff way later. When we dealt with bullies face to face. Now you don't deal with bullies face to face anymore. You deal with bullies that are keyboard warriors that, you know, talk however they want to talk, and they get away with it a lot of the time because they're not in your face anymore. Having people, you know, you don't know out of the blue come into your stream and tell you suck or message you online or something like that is horrible. And excuse me, again, I'm going to keep going back to this. On any social media site or in a stream today, or in my stream or however stream, if someone walks in and starts being a douchebag, fucking call them out. I mean, just gangbang them to death and make them feel like a piece of shit. And call that stuff out. And you can be a man, you can be a woman, I don't care who it is. Just get on top of that stuff and make it stop. And that's why I kind of gave the warning today. You know, if you come in here talking about politics, you come in here making, you know, horrible comments with that, I'm going to ban you. And it's just that simple. I've talked about safe spaces before on TikTok, and how much I actually hate that term. I hate the term safe space. I really do. I don't like safe space. I want to call it better space, where we can be evolved human beings and come together and we can support one another and talk about these things that need to be discussed. I haven't given a warning to anybody yet, thankfully. And I didn't expect to give a warning to anybody, but I'm just making it very clear. Making it very clear. This is a better space. Better space. You guys can come in here and talk about anything you want. You guys can come in my Discord, talk about anything you want, and no one is gonna be a douche about it. No one's gonna sit here and talk down to you about it. Everybody's gonna support you about it. And can you imagine if all of us just did that? I mean, could you imagine that? I mean, it would certainly be nice. I mean, how does someone seeking help affect you? Why would you be upset about that? Why would that anger you? Why would you have to talk down to that? And I know, is it your own anger, your own issues you're dealing with that you haven't addressed yourself? More than likely. You probably should be addressing that you're not. I mean, yeah. Mental health stigma describes the negative attitudes held by individuals and society toward those with trauma, depression, anxiety, substance abuse disorder, and other mental health challenges. Hence, mental health stigmas are obviously an obstacle to increasing awareness and ensuring people get the help they need. We saw a massive increase in mental health during COVID-19. Everybody locked in their houses, not able to escape and do the things they normally do and whatnot. But we saw a massive increase in people wanting to talk to somebody else, therapist or whatever, whatnot. And I thought, good. This is a good thing. Why do we do this normally? Why aren't we all out there doing this? What does it hurt to talk to somebody else? To get it off. I love being home by myself too. I do. I mean, I'm one of those. I'm like an extrovert introvert. I love being home by myself, but every now and again I like to get out and be social. You know, it's just kind of. I do love my house though, so it is what it is. There are other ways too. We'll get into other ways too to help with your mental health and stuff like that. But it was kind of neat to see the mental health that came with COVID, and then those reaching out, the massive increase reaching out to get help. during that. I thought it was really neat. And I don't know why it's not just all the time. I really don't. So obviously, the youth mental health crisis in this day and age is exorbitant, right, by social media. If you guys have never, has anybody here watched the show Social Dilemma on Netflix? It's a fantastic show. I had someone comment to me the stupidest fucking shit they heard all week. Yeah, people like that are. I'm assuming it was a guy. Is that correct, Brittany? Yeah. Honestly, probably got the 2-inch dick that needs to be made to feel better about it. I don't know. It just again, probably someone has his own issues that they're not dealing with, or that they're under pressure from something else, and they have to release that rage into somebody else. You know, it's always a factor over here is affecting A is affecting B, and then B is affecting C, as that boils down to. And it's likely where that's coming from, and it's not helpful. It's not your fault at all. It's yeah, they have to get out the rage somehow, and they're just taking it out on you, and it's BS. If I had been on there, if I had been in that voice chat, oh man, I would have had so much fun with that. I would have so much fun with that. I'll tell a story about that here in a second. But Social Dilemma, if you have not watched Social Dilemma on Netflix, go watch it. It will terrify you. It will make you want to uninstall all your social media accounts and never get on social media ever again. But it's a conversation that is amazing to listen to. It's a short series. It's an excellent series. Social Dilemma on Netflix. Go check it out. It's really, really, really good. What game was it playing? I was playing, was it Valorant? Oh, I can't remember. It was a first-person shooter, right? Maybe, I think it was Apex. It was Apex. 3-person team, and we got knocked out early, I think. And this guy is just going off. And I'm literally sitting here I just start laughing at him. You know, literally on the voice chat. And I had my voice chat off, so I wasn't talking in voice chat, but I flipped it on. I'm like, nope, I'm not done with this. I just started laughing at him, and he gets so pissed. He's like, I'm like, dude, just start yelling louder, man. Start yelling. He's like, yo, I'm yelling so loud, everybody else in your house can hear you. You're like, cool, I live by myself. That's awesome, bro. It's just like these guys that they have issues that are not getting resolved, and that expands into other people's, you know, projecting that on other people, and that's, you know, social media and voice chat, and that it's. He was a teammate. Oh, Tori. Tori, thank you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, they usually are. Brittany, I agree with you. And if you're, you know, on a team with someone, why not just give them helpful advice? Say, hey, you know, if you maybe try this might help you out a little bit. And if you present that in a positive way, I mean, how can you be mad about that? You know, so, yeah, we'll give it a shot and see what you think. Maybe you won't like it. You know, but there's so many better ways to handle that, and it just when people have to rage about it. You know? It's a game, guys. Pro tip: you're not getting paid for it. Oh my goodness. It really is. I haven't experienced a whole lot about it, thankfully, but it's definitely worse than like ranked and stuff like that when the competition really starts getting up there. Call of Duty is horrible no matter what game you're playing or what mode you're in. They're just all a bunch of asshats. I have voice turned off in that game, like, period. Man, not even bother. Oh, we should play some night, Tori, for with Woodshed on together. If someone bullies you or bullies either one of us, so I'll get on it. That'd be a lot of fun. Maybe for people that let's try Mario Kart. Yeah, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. Yeah, World of Warcraft is terrible too. If you were a pro like freaking Raider or some god awesome party member, that's kind of funny. They were asshats, you know. And I just don't get the rage. You're not gaining anything. There's nothing you're getting that you're not like being rewarded for how far you get in the game, you know? It's like, okay, I guess. Anyway. So what is a mental health stigma? A stigma is defined as a cluster of negative attitudes and beliefs that motivate the general public to fear, avoid, and discriminate against people with mental illnesses. There's stigma associated with drug addiction and stigma associated with mental illness. Irving Goffman, a noted sociologist, studied stigma in the 1970s. He describes stigma as the phenomenon whereby an individual with an attribute which is deeply discredited by his or her society is rejected as a result of that attribute. Rejected as a result of the attribute. You know what's funny is that one thing that I don't think it helps mental health at all is social media at all. What's funny about, you know, being rejected is saying, and I've come out and so I've been honest about social media. You know, I've talked about, you know, my mental health stuff I've worked through and whatnot, and I've gotten tons of support from people. This is amazing. But the people on social media that post the, oh, I have a perfect relationship, or my marriage is fantastic, or we're celebrating our first year anniversary and he's the most wonderful person ever, or I'm going on all these vacations and I have all this money to spend, blah, 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 blah. Social media is the shiny glass surface, hiding all the other bullshit underneath it. And believe me, I know. I've got friends that post all the super happy stuff about their marriage, blah, 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 blah. If only the husband knew how much his wife cheated on him. It's all bullshit. All social media is bullshit. It just, I don't take anything on social media as word of anything as factual anymore. I don't. It's all a bunch of crap. And those glossy posts about, oh, the perfect relationship ever. Bullshit. Bullshit. I'll call you out on that crap every time. No, you don't. You just don't want anybody else to think that there's problems going on behind the scenes. Let me tell you, there's always problems going on behind the scenes. Always. How about this? Just don't talk about that shit on social media. How about that? How about that? Another thing too that, and talking about social media is, I got a friend of mine who is, he's married, he's got a kid, he's depressed, but he constantly posts those attention-seeking posts on social media. You know, I need, you know, ways to get people to react to his post or always be there to support him and stuff like that. We're not. Don't do this. That dopamine level you get from that reaction is a temporary thing that it'll go up 3 points and it'll go down 4 points when it wears off. And you go up 3 points again when you post again and go down 4 more points. And it's actually a sinking slope by posting those dopamine hits on social media to get that attention without actually addressing the actual problem. Not helping. Not helping you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Address the problem. Don't sit there and beg for help and not address the problem on social media. It's not getting you anywhere. You're spinning your wheels. Please stop doing that. Hey, Mysterious Ace, welcome to the stream. I'm doing great. How are you doing? We're talking about some heavy topics today, but for Movember, which is a Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So yeah, welcome in. Yeah, all the time. You say I take it with a pinch of salt. Like, yeah, whatever. How you doing, Mysterious Ace? How's your day in? If you want to chime in about anything you want to talk about, we're talking about today, feel free to do so. Oh, I should back with that. Oh, no bueno. Back pain is the worst. Do you have like a heating blanket you can lay down on or anything? Or whatnot? That sucks. Ugh, back pain sucks. Of course, as we know, guys, stigma around mental health or other conditions can lead to social exclusion and isolation, decreased self-esteem, discrimination, lack of a supportive community, difficulty finding education or employment opportunities, and limited access to quality health care. Excuse me. And there are two types of stigmas out there. Social stigmas, negative attitudes and discriminating behavior directed towards those with mental health problems. Perceived stigma or self-stigma, and we're going to talk about this more. I tell this important. My dad and I both have PTSD. If you don't mind me asking, are you seeking help for it? Do you guys talk about it? Do you guys talk to someone else about it? Take medication for it? This is a super safe space here. No one's going to judge anybody here about anything. I tell you that right now. So. So perceived stigma or self-stigma, feelings of shame and self-blame internalized by those with mental health challenges. Self-stigma can undermine self-esteem. We'll talk about overthinking and stuff like that later on, next, actually. Yes, we are. I take meds for 2 kinds. My dad gets difficulties, military veteran. Okay. I'm assuming the VA offers some sort of help with that, would be my guess, which is good. We're talking a little bit about the history of mental health stigma. And the word stigma originally referred to a tattoo or mark used for decorative or religious purposes. Sometimes used to brand criminals or slaves so that they could be identified. Hence, beginning in the late 16th and early 17th century, the word became a negative term. DACA is an org that helps veterans with PTSD need an additional military resource. That's cool. Brittany, thanks for offering that. Very limited access for elderly in bad case. Let's look up, stack up, right here. Stack Up helps U.S. and allied military service members. I would definitely check that out. It's really a neat program. They combine being veterans and being gamers. Nothing wrong with that. However, stigma around mental health disorders is traceable back to ancient Greece. In addition, it also traces back to the medieval and Renaissance periods in Europe. During these times, people often believed that mental illness was caused by demonic possession. How about that? I'm possessed by a demon, guys. Negative attitudes towards mental illness persisted in the 18th century in the United States, leading to the stigmatization of mental illness and resulting in mentally ill people being treated inhumanely. Oh, thank you, Jafasa. Thank you. It took decades for greater awareness around mental issues to filter in both the treatment industry and into society at large. Even today, stigma around mental health is common. In fact, one study measuring attitudes for mental illness found that only 25% surveyed were sympathetic to mental health challenges. 25%. Well, that's a fucking garbage number. That's a garbage number. Ugh. The consequences of stigma and teenage mental illness. And we just had someone share earlier about their teenagers going through mental illness. And the most significant consequence of stigma, of course, is that they're not getting the treatment they need. Hence, fewer than half of those with a mental health condition get treatment. Fewer than half. People are afraid to disclose that they have mental health problems. I dealt with that. They fear they will be treated differently or having a mental health condition will jeopardize their job or their experience at school. When people with mental health conditions don't get help, they often self-medicate. They may use drugs, alcohol, or cigarettes. And then we talked about this earlier. Lung cancer, liver cancer. Self-medicating is not going to get you where you need to go. Okay? Or they may use self-destructive behaviors as unhealthy coping mechanisms such as self-harm or eating disorders. Therefore, stigma can lead to teenage substance abuse and eating disorders. Additionally, it can cause risky behavior, social media addiction, and teen cell phone addiction. We often see that enough as it is. Adolescents often look for distraction as they try to escape both the pain of a mental health issue and the pain of the resulting stigma. Excuse me. Here's an interesting fact too. I like this one a lot. Gen Z is actually reducing mental health stigma. Surveys show that teens are driving the movement to reduce stigma. The National 4-H Council commissioned a survey with the Harris Poll exploring teens' perceptions and experience related to mental health. More than 1,500 U.S. teenagers between the ages of 13 and 19 participated. They came from diverse backgrounds and geographic areas across the country. The results show the young people have a keen understanding of the mental health challenges their generation faces. Here are some of the findings of the survey. 81% of teens believe that mental health is a significant issue for youth in this country. 81%. 82% of those surveyed urge Americans to talk more openly and honestly about mental health issues. 83% agree with the statement. It's important for people to take action with their mental health. 79% wish that their schools would provide a safe, inclusive space where students could come together to talk about mental health. High five, Gen Z. It's got to start somewhere. However, the vast majority of teens surveyed agree that as a culture, we should embrace both the ups and downs of mental health. It is okay to feel bad sometimes. I'm share some myths and truths about mental health. Talk about it. Yep, and talk about it. The myth. Myth number 1. Mental illness is rare, and most people are not affected by it. The truth. Most families in America are affected by mental illness. Prior to 2020, about 43 million American adults, 18% of adults in the US, suffer from mental illness, and 1 in 5 teens, 20%, suffer from mental health disorder, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. Those numbers have significantly increased as a result of COVID-19. Talked about COVID-19 earlier. The myth. High school, I never knew there were other people doing the show. Was anything I wish I had? Yeah. Again, I'm certain that most people are, and they just. I found it interesting that 79% wish that their schools would provide a safe, inclusive space where students could come together to talk about mental health. Yeah. And it's worse now, right? It's worse now as younger kids going through school now, social media and everything else, and the online bullies and stuff like that. That's horrible. The myth number 2. People with mental illness don't get better. A report by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, DHHS, found that only 1/4 of young adults ages 18 to 24 believe that a person with mental health can recover. The truth is, most people with mental health conditions can and do recover. Studies show that most get better and may recover completely. I did. But I admitted there was a problem and I stepped up to fix it. Myth number 3. People with mental health disorders or substance abuse disorder should take the blame for their illness. Individuals who suffer from mental health and substance abuse disorders are not to blame for their conditions. Moreover, the roots of these conditions are complex. In addition, they often include genetic and neurobiological factors, also include their environmental causes such as trauma, societal pressures, and family dysfunction. There was a book I read once. Gee, I think you know about this one. I gotta remember the title of it though. I think I still have it. Where it was a society well in the future where parents had kids, but the kids were taken away from them at birth, and they were raised in a neutral, all-encompassing learning environment to the age of 18, and then they were returned to their parents. So the parents couldn't ruin the kids. It's very interesting. That's a very fair point, Tori. That's a very fair point. I couldn't agree with you more. It's foster care child, I get that, yeah. Yeah, I can't even imagine. You know where that's got to come from, right? It can only come from one place. Myth number 3. People with mental illnesses are not good at their jobs. The DHHS reports found that just 42% of Americans believe that a person with mental illness can be successful as others in their workplace. The truth. People with mental illnesses are good employees. Studies by the National Institute of Mental Health, NIMH, and the National Alliance of the Mentally Ill, NAMI. Oh, thank you for following, Stormy. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. Kind of talk about some serious, usually I don't talk about really serious stuff on my streams, but we're talking about mental health and men's awareness this month and whatnot. And some heavy topics here. It's kind of different today, but I thought it was important to talk about this stuff. So, but welcome. Kind of a heavy day today. But welcome to the stream, and we're kind of just discussing various things and whatnot. And I'm encouraging people to take place and ask questions or make comments and whatnot if they want to, and just be open about mental health and whatnot. And yeah, hope you have hope you enjoy your time here. We'll get back to normal gaming tomorrow. I say something with you harder. Oh, thank you for following, Frosty Man. Well, is Stormy Frosty and Frosty Man, are they like kind of the same people, maybe? Or not same people, but like a couple, maybe? I feel that might be the thing. Welcome to the stream, Frosty Man. It's a kind of a heavy day today, talking about some heavy topics, but I think it's all good stuff. I feel like we need to talk about mental health. It's something I've experienced. I have a really long story about it. I'm always open about sharing that, and I encourage other people to share and whatnot. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to hop on in as we go through this stuff. Yeah, usually the stream is mostly about gaming, but yeah, we're just getting a little bit more heavier things today. So, but welcome again. I hope you guys enjoy your time. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. There's been talk to Jafasa about introducing a bill, I think it was, where you ban people off social media until the age of 16. What do you guys think about that? I think that merits discussion. Or as Jafasa said, pull the cell phones out of the kids' hands at school. Yeah. Well, let's be honest, folks. Let's be honest, okay? The people that walk into your streams and give you shit, or they talk shit to you online, or whatever, or in a game or something like that, they would not do that to your face. There's consequences for that. So taking that away, I think would be really interesting. My nephew's 9. He plays Fortnite and Minecraft a lot. My brother has that all locked down. Can't chat with anybody. No voice chat. None of that stuff. You can't really voice chat in Fortnite anyway, unless you turn on your mic. But yeah. I think social. Yeah, absolutely. I think Social Dilemma kind of talks about this a little bit on Netflix, where they go over. What was I going with this? Train of thought just went off the rails. I know it'll come back to me like at midnight tomorrow night. No, not your fault. Not your fault. I was thinking about something and I just just hopped out of my head. Oh, we got like 2 o'clock this morning. Like, oh yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Let's try to get around it. It's a typical 15-year-old. Oh, it's worse online, right? Because there's no consequences. Yeah, the things they say online are awful. Are just awful. Myth number 4. Treatment doesn't help. The DHHS report found that only about half, 54% of young adults who knew someone with a mental illness believed treatment would help them. The truth is, treatment can and does help. Consequently, there are now more treatment approaches than ever. These include integrated treatment in residential and outpatient programs. In addition, treatment includes group and individual therapy, experiential modalities. That's a word. Mindfulness practices and other approaches. We'll talk about treatment here a little bit as well. A lot of myths surrounding it. Yeah, not a good thing. Yeah. And then how to fight mental health stigma. Well, we kind of talked about this already, but to reduce mental health stigma, action must be taken at all levels of society. Hence, individual organizations can make a difference. The media. I get annoyed with the media. And do you guys ever get tired of watching the media? I have a suggestion for you. The media can avoid sensational stories about mental illness and portray more stories about recovery of people with mental health challenges. Now, the media is paid to be sensational. Okay, we all know this. If you ever get tired of watching like any media source, check out this link. This is one of my favorite links to go to. I'm gonna make sure it's still alive. I think it is. Yeah. Check this. This is one of my favorite things to go to. GoodNewsNetwork.org. If you ever get overwhelmed by all the bad shit all the news has to say all the time, go to that site. They actually talk about a lot of really cool stuff. We have an ad break, guys, coming up in 40 seconds. We'll get back into that. We'll get back into the discussion here in a little bit. Talk more about how ways to fight mental health stigmas. It's a really good place. I love that website a lot. It's just a lot of fun. We're going to go into, after this, guys, we're going to go into ways you can help overthinking. And then the last topic we'll talk about today is suicide, which is going to be a tough one, but it needs to be talked about. Let's go take a break for now, guys. We've got 10 seconds without a break. Get a drink, get some food, stretch, take a leak. I'm going to go take a leak. Come back in just a little bit here, guys, a couple minutes, and we'll continue our conversation. In the break. I'm taking a break. I'm just going to go pee.
Welcome Stormy Frosty _ your meowsome. Lol. Meows loudly. Hey everyone, your favorite cat is back. The stream will be resuming shortly, so sit tight and get ready for more perfect entertainment. Lol.
Okay, then back. We're going to break in here in a minute. Continue our conversation here today. I'm going to follow and sign up. I appreciate you doing that, Mr. Arias. I really do. All right, our break is almost over here. All right, we are back. All right. So other ways we can help fight mental stigma, guys. And I'm going to really stick with the last one here because we kind of talked about it already, but I think it's just the most important one. We talked about the media. I gave you guys that link. Political leaders can support policies to help people access mental health treatment more easily. Also, they should work towards increasing funding for mental health awareness campaigns. Not a whole lot we can do about political leaders. It is what it is. I'm not going to get into politics here today. That's something that we should be keeping an eye out for, and really, if we need to write letters and stuff to our political leaders to get that access more available, then we should do that. Researchers can continue to study and monitor attitudes toward mental illness. Mental health organizations can provide education and resources in their communities. Everyone can change the way they refer to those with mental health conditions by avoiding labels. Instead of saying she's anorexic, for example, say she has anorexia. Two totally different things. Okay. This is the one that I'm going to really circle here, and I'm going to talk about something that the current job I work at offers something, but individuals can learn how to offer reassurance and acceptance to friends, family members, neighbors, or others with mental health challenges. Guys, it starts there. Media, political, researching, whatever. It starts with the individual. And I think the biggest thing, like I said, is you see shit, someone talking shit about it, you call that shit out. Call it out. You police that. You know what? That's not okay. That's not something that you should be saying. You should be supporting that person. Over and over again. Call that shit out. One thing that really shocks me, and we have the only one of this kind in the community. And speaking of, you know, Jeannie, like you mentioned your children and stuff like that, we have a kids grief center. We have the only one in our community, and we have a population of 300,000 plus people here. And it's for kids ages 3 to age 18, where they can come talk about grief, or you know, because I feel like if kids don't talk about that stuff, that turns into other disorders. If they don't, kids are like sponges. If they don't squeeze and get that water out, that they're gonna rot, and it's gonna become more of a problem. And I'm really just surprised that more stuff like that is not offered across the board. To really get on top of the stuff early, if possible, and before it becomes more of a problem later. Next topic we're going to talk about today is overthinking. And more specifically, the self-stigma of mental health disorders, guys. I think overthinking is a huge part of that, in my opinion. Tell me to piss off if you don't believe in that, but who here overthinks? Yeah, seriously, it does. Sure. I think most people do. I do. Yeah. Shivasa. Jeannie, Tori, yeah, sure. Yeah. Brittany does, yeah. Absolutely. Overthinking can lead to really some really awful spirals, including up to suicide. I think a lot of us get inside our own heads. I think a lot of us make up things that aren't there. You know what they say, 99% of the things you worry about don't often come true. There are strategies to get around this, and overthinking can be difficult to combat, but it's something I think we all need to work on. And I think that overthinking can really affect our mental health and cause more problems than we realize. So stuff that we can work on. First off, though, what does it mean to be in your head? Being in your head generally refers to fixating in your thoughts to the point of worrying, overthinking, or disconnecting from the present moment. You feel like the only things you're truly aware of are the thoughts in your mind, even when you're actually doing something like driving. For example, you might have experienced realizations you don't remember the last 10 to 15 minutes of driving because you're so focused on thinking about something. Who has done that? I've spaced out while driving. 100%. It doesn't mean that you didn't know where the road was, it's that more of your attention was on your thoughts. Oh, well, good for you guys. Yeah. Fine, be that way. It stops. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Trauma, sure. Negative negative effects of being in your head, guys. This state can lead to increased stress, anxiety, depression, and difficulty engaging with people or external activities. It can also create the situation that your life is not within your control because you feel disconnected from the choices you make. Another example of being in your head is when you're at a social event without fully enjoying because you're thinking about how people perceive you, things you said to someone, what you should say, or how to make a good impression. This can prevent you from being present and engaged in the conversations or activities happening around you. Don't think and drive. So we're talking about ways to get out of your head, guys. And I think this is a really important one. And again, these have stigmas, right? Meditation's, for the weak, or working on the stuff stupid or not manly or whatever. And again, that whole man stigma. I'm going to end that this conversation with that. But some ways to help us out. And these have actually worked for me. Yeah, I really think that we all should practice this because, guys, I'm telling you, they do work, okay? These are the basic ways to get out of your head, all right? Every person has their own reasons for overthinking and maybe different strategies for this. Meditation, my number one for sure. Good job, Troy. We'll talk about meditation. That'll be there too. Number one, in fact, is meditation, okay? Meditation is a practice that involves quieting or focusing the mind through a range of techniques. Meditation does not require you to clear your head of all thoughts. Rather, it can help you recognize your thoughts without reacting or building upon them. For one instance, one very popular type of meditation is mindfulness meditation. If you guys have never heard of that, think of Calm app, stuff like that, which involves being aware of your internal feelings as well as your external senses. Studies have found that mindfulness meditation can bring benefits from individuals in key areas such as depression, anxiety, and chronic pain. If you are new to meditation, you may consider starting with guided meditations, which can be helpful and might take away some of the guesswork about how to do it. These audios can guide you through the process and help you build a foundation for you to continue with. Once you become more comfortable with meditating, you may consider practicing in silence or using relaxing instrumentals rather than guided meditations. Many people begin this solo practice by continuing to meditate for a short while after the guided meditation video or recording finishes. It may also help you designate a specific time for meditation. Whether it's 5 minutes after waking up or 30 minutes before going to bed, creating a routine may make it easier to quiet your mind and meditate.
It's me, your favorite furry friend.
CBT for good therapy.
Can't wait to chat and have some fun.
Meditation. I love the Headspace app. I have the I can't remember what app I have. It's similar to Headspace. It's not Calm, but it's one of the other ones. It works, guys. I'm telling you, it works. I'm telling you, it really, really helps. Number 2. Finding mindfulness in everyday life. Meditation is not the only way to practice mindfulness aimed at reducing overthinking. Mindfulness can be cultivated in the most mundane activities beyond a dedicated meditation time. For instance, when you're doing your chores, try to focus on the small actions in the process of washing your dishes or sweeping the floor. When driving or walking around, pay attention to your surroundings and the space around you. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? How do you feel? Concentrating on those external factors rather than what is going on in your head can make it easier for you to quiet your noisy thoughts and find clarity. In addition to trying to be present in these simple activities, books and apps can also design to help you become more mindful. What works well for one person may not work for others, but you may consider experimenting with different approaches and tools to find the best method for you. Chakras are in sync. Well, chakras ran out the door a long time ago. That's awesome, Jeannie. I like that. Doing activities you enjoy. Guys, I just talked about this. Okay? 45 years old. It wasn't that long ago I decided to do what I love and fuck everybody else, okay? You guys have got to get on top of doing what you love to doing and not giving a shit what other people think about it, okay? Yeah, I agree, Tori, 100%. Do what you guys love to do. I can't stress that enough. Do it, love it, okay? Stress and overthinking can often go hand in hand. Shocking, right? If we create opportunities for ourselves to reduce stress and enjoy the present moment, the need for space to ruminate on other things may decrease. Try to stop overthinking. Consider finding activities you'd like to carve out time for them daily. Daily. For instance, these could include any of the following: singing, dancing, painting, drawing, crafting, gardening, photography, cooking, writing, hiking, and in our worlds, gaming. Number 4. Yoga, Tai Chi, or other exercise. Getting physical exercise can be another great strategy, especially those who find it challenging to get out of their heads. Below are a few exercises you may consider trying. Yoga. This form of exercise can be a relaxing method to help you cultivate mindfulness, so it pushes the limits of your flexibility and strength, both inner and outer. Not butt kicking, it's not my hobby. Tai Chi. Running, walking, or hiking in nature. Swimming. How about this, guys? Taking a cold shower, number 5. Now, all the methods that can prevent overthinking are exercises which you need to set additional time aside. Something as simple as taking a cold shower may help as well. Like strenuous exercise, taking a cold shower provides a shock to your system that can take away from your thoughts and bring you back into your physical body. Consider trying this out the next time you shower and examine the results. Did it help you get out of your head, even if it was momentarily? You know how many people I know have ice baths? I know a lot of people I know have actual ice baths. Cryotherapy. Can't think when you're freezing to death. Yep. I know a number of people who have those cryotherapy machines. Little tubs. Yep. There are other therapies you can use to get out of your head as well. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a structured approach to mental health. Dialectical behavior therapy is another form of cognitive behavioral therapy. It emphasizes the importance of emotional regulation and mindfulness. And then therapy in general, about how to get out of your head. Guys, the last topic we'll talk about today, and I think is a key thing to talk about. It's going to be a tough topic to discuss. I think overthinking often leads to it, as well as other mental health disorders. That's suicide. We hear a lot about suicide. Foster care. Not going to judge you guys. If you don't want to talk about it though, it's totally up to you. Not going to push it on you either. Not anymore though. If you thought about suicide. I'm glad to get help for it. I'm serious, it's awesome of you. It really is. Good for you. It's hard. It's hard, guys. Well, I kind of thought about it, you know. I think a lot of it, in my opinion, has to do with overthinking, getting in your own head, and being feeling like there's no way back from where you are, or you can't fix where you're at, or if you have a constant beat down, you know, on you, whatnot. Well, thank you for following Control Alt Delete. I really appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Talking about some tough stuff today. This isn't my usual. We have not usually don't talk about this stuff, but I thought it was a good time to do with Movember and men's mental health awareness. Usually we game and have fun, but I think it's important to talk about these things. So you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, please feel free to hop in. We've kind of gone through cancer and mental health awareness, and we're talking about suicide right now. So yeah, welcome to the stream. When it comes to suicide and suicide attempts, there are rate differences depending on demographic characteristics such as age, gender, ethnicity, and race. However, suicide occurs in all demographic groups. In the US, no complete count of suicide attempt data is available. The CDC gathers data from hospitals on non-fatal injuries from self-harm, as well as survey data. Pain and PTSD in the service, find a hard deal with most days. I can imagine. Chronic pain would be horrible. I can imagine.
Welcome control_alt_delete. Your meowsm. Lol.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. That's really cool. I think more mental health agencies need to be out there. I'm glad you're part of that, and I appreciate you being here today. That's really cool. In 2021, the most recent year for which data was available, the rate of visits to the emergency departments for non-fatal self-harm injuries were approximately 148.2 for over 100,000 people. Based on the 2022 National Survey of Drug Use and Mental Health, it is estimated that 0.6 of the adults aged 18 or older made at least one suicide attempt. This translates to approximately 1.6 million adults. With regard to race and ethnicity, suicide attempts range from 1.5% among American Indian or Alaska Native or multiracial adults to 0.1% in Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander. The rate of attempts for African Americans is 0.9%, and the rate for whites or Hispanic adults was 0.6%. The rate for Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander and Asian adults was 0.2%. Based on the most recent Youth Risk Behavior Survey from 2021, 10% of youth in grades 9 through 12 reported they had at least made one suicide attempt in the past 12 months. Read that again. In 2021, 10% of youth in grades 9 through 12 reported that they made at least one suicide attempt in the past 12 months. Female students attempted 1.86 times as often as male students. American Indian or Alaska Native students reported the highest rate of attempt, 16%, with white students at 9%. Approximately 3% of all students reported making a suicide attempt that required treatment by a doctor or nurse. I don't have a numbers are staggering. That especially the 10% of youth in grades 9 through 12, and obviously I think we can contribute that to social media, or a lot of it. Like I said, I'm not a licensed therapist, guys. I'm not a psychologist at all. I think, we kind of talked about this earlier, where the mention of banning social media to anyone under the age of 16 is worth talking about. I think that we as individuals who know of bullying or see people getting attacked for mental health or anything like that, we need to police that. We need on top of that as people who have experienced it myself, who have been through it and have come out the other side. We got to put a stop to that, and we can't wait on anybody else to do it. We can't wait on politicians or the media or other agencies or whatever. It's got to be us. It's got to start and stop with us. Thankfully, I have never met. I have not. I take that back. Yes, I have. Take that back. I can't. I had a friend, very attractive woman. She had 4 kids. She worked in at our hospital here, and when it happened, she was around my age. When it happened, I never would have guessed, and there were no signs. And I think it's something we easily miss. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, sadly, I'm not surprised. Hi, Mochi. It's good to see you. Welcome to the stream. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's tough. These are tough topics, but I think it's stuff we all need to be discussing, be open to discussing for sure. So I'm always open to talk about this stuff. As someone who's been through mental health problems, has popped out the opposite side of it. I get it. I get it. It really comes down to talking, right? I mean, we're so terrified of the stigmas and getting in our own heads and overthinking and everything else that we don't want to talk about it. And I think with that one friend of mine who left 4 kids behind, never saw anything, never saw any signs, never would have guessed in any way, shape, or form. There was nothing I missed, or from what I could tell, any of her closer friends missed. That just gotta talk about it, guys. Just gotta talk about it. It can't be a stigma anymore. The word stigma needs to die. And I'm really going to put the pressure on men here. Women, you guys got it down. I mean, a lot of women, I understand that the suicide rates are higher for women and whatnot, but you women are on top of your health. You guys do so much better than we do, than men do, on top of a variety of on all this stuff. And it's got to be on us men to really step forward and put a clamp down on some of this crap. We really got to be, and especially when it comes to policing other men and encouraging other men to talk. That's another thing too, is normalizing. Hey, it's not manly to avoid it; it's manly to discuss it. Be a man. It's not be a man to sit there and fight cancer and not go in and get your screening. It's be a man to go in and get this stuff done. And if us men are not doing that, then we're being failures. We're not doing our jobs. We've got to get on top of this stuff. And you women are on it. I mean, a lot of you women are on it. Us men are not, and it's embarrassing. And that needs to change. I can't tell you how frustrated I am. It does not change. It's very frustrating. What it boils down to, everybody, is that, like Mysterious Ace keeps saying, overthinking goes into spirals, and there are spirals we can't get out of. Sometimes when those spirals get so bad that the only way you can think about doing anything about it is just putting an end to it. I've been in a number of funerals where we keep talking about, I wish I had said this to this person, or I wish I'd done that to that person, or I wish I had come forth and said these things. And the question I have to ask is, why aren't we doing that? Does person A, friend A of yours, know how valued they are in your life, even though you might not talk every day? Why not just tell them that? Does person B, who might be posting stuff on social media that, as you were, maybe you can explain to them that, hey, this is not the way you should go about doing this, that we should get help a different way. Oh, you're right. You're right. And I'm pointing at us guys. I'm not pointing at the girls. I'm not pointing at the women here. I'm pointing at us guys. We're fucking terrible at that. We get stuck in this be a man and manliness and I can't go get a prostate check. Someone's sticking a finger up my ass. It's gay. I can't do that. That's... you guys are losing me here. You guys are losing me here. Of course it's going to implode. 100% it's going to implode. Being a man isn't about... You can't be a... Why be a man and lose in your head, and you think not being a man and women or winning is less? I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense. You've got to stop, like, you know, reacting to these bait posts on social media about, oh, a man would never date a guy with a cat or something like that, or, you know, whatever. Or take, like Jafasa said, take social media with a grain of salt. You know, just brush off anything you might read on there. 99% of everything you post on social media is bullshit. It's absolute crap. It's got that glossy veneer, and everything else below it is garbage. Just garbage. Right. Do you know if anything happened in those last 3 weeks, Shafasa? Like, probably didn't talk about it. Sometimes we can't explain it. I mean, some people won't ever talk about it, and they'll just do it. And I think a lot of that, again, has to do with self-stigmas, with social stigmas. They feel they can't. They feel to be judged. They feel that if they do talk about it, they're going to be judged forever past that. And with all the stress, you know, we have media around us that hyper ventilates everything. We got social media around us that glosses over everything. We got all this pressure coming from every direction. You got us, even us gamers, playing games that people walking in or on our team calling us shit or trash or whatever like that. I mean, all this stuff, right? It just never seems to end. And I mean, it's like when I ranted about the other day about safe spaces. I don't want this to be a safe space. I want this to be a better space. We can all come together and talk about this stuff nonstop without judgment or without worry or about getting that support or, you know, getting that understanding or at the very least getting some direction on where we can go to get that help. I almost, you know, for everybody who's judgy about shit in life these days, I almost guarantee you every single person has dealt with a mental health struggle at some point. Whether it lasted for a week or it's been ongoing you know, it's been around for, you know, I think everybody has dealt with it. And the fact that we can't up and say, you know, I want to talk about this because of I need to be a man or I can't shed a tear or whatever. God, you guys are losing me. I don't understand it. I don't get it. There's no reason for it. And if you have to like bog down on it, if you have to attack that, then I think you're going through more than you are willing to admit, and you need to talk to somebody anyway. So, it's kind of wrapped up my presentation a little bit. I just want to add a couple of things here. Number one, and again, I'm gonna rag on men again here. Men, I think a lot of this starts and stops with us specifically. About our health, about policing what other people say, about getting on your friends to get help or get treatment or get screened or whatever. About, you know, when did it become wrong to compliment another guy? Hey, buddy, you look sharp today. Hey, I like the cologne, man. Where'd you get it from? When was that wrong? Where did it go wrong to... Where is the failure about... And always all, Jeannie, thanks so much for coming by. I really appreciate it, as always, and sharing your thoughts and stories. Have a good rest of your day. It was good to see you, as always. And again, thank you so much for coming by. Big hugs. I just think that us men have got to get on top of it. I really do. It's very frustrating that we can't be better than this. To be manly is to admit. To be manly is to seek help. To be manly is to help others seek help. To be manly is to support one another. There's not anything manly about not doing these things. And it's silly to me that stigma exists, and that stigma needs to get knifed in the dark and left to die somewhere and never brought up again. For everyone else that came by, I really appreciate you guys being here. I know this is hard, and it's not easy to talk about. I got emotional about it. You know, it's tough talking about mental health. It's tough being open about stuff. It's tough, you know. Stigmas out there still exist. It's tough sharing your experiences. It's tough, you know, being vulnerable with people and whatnot, and hoping to God that those people don't judge you in some way, shape, or form. It's tough, and you know, speaking of emotional. Well, it's like Mysterious has said. You're more valuable than you think. I've met some really, really, really amazing people doing this. Some people have stopped since I've been doing this, that for whatever reason, health or job or something like that. And I miss them. You know, I miss not being here. Some people, especially those who supported me along the way, that no longer stream or around that much. And if you guys stop doing what you're doing, if you guys, you know, decided to got busy with something else or whatever, and you couldn't be here anymore, you know, I would notice. I mean, there's no reason I wouldn't notice. You guys are a huge part of what I do now. And if you think that people would notice, well, you're wrong. Like I said, I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I've been told I listen pretty well. So if you guys ever did need to talk, I'm here. So, yeah. If nothing else, I can just sit there and shut up and not say a word, and you guys do what you need to do. You may have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to share, anything else? I think I'm pretty much at the end of kind of what I wanted to talk about. Always happy to discuss other topics too. If you have anything else you want to bring up, can be anything off this too. If you want to talk about anything else or ask a question about anything else, or so feel free. I can limit anybody to this. So. Coming up later this week, guys, we got Dragon Age the Veilguard tomorrow. We got Silent Hill 2 continues on Tuesday. Almost done with that game. We got on Friday, our schedule has changed this week. We got on Friday, we got some Call of Duty Black Ops 6. If you want to join in, feel welcome to. Yeah, got some stuff coming up. We have Thanksgiving, of course, on Thursday. I will not be around for that at all. And my normal schedule will resume next week, and of course we got Christmas coming up after that really fast. Yeah. I know the holidays can be especially hard for people too. So if you ever need a channel like that about the holidays, feel free. Excuse me. The beer of the week this week has been hard seltzer. White Claws. This is actually a beer. Seltzer is actually a beer. Talking about that this week. Yeah. No, I do not. I think I'm almost done. Every time I feel like I say I'm almost done with the game, it just feels like it keeps going. How many more stuff did I get through here? It's craziness. I am practicing with closed caption, guys, so that'll be a thing coming up. It was on my previous screen. I'm going to give it a shot on my normal screen maybe tomorrow and see how it goes. So people who are deaf or hard of hearing or can't speak English or whatever like that should be able to translate that, I think. So I'll be part of this too. Kind of translates a little bit funny, but we'll see how it goes. Sure. Anything else you guys want to talk about today? Anything you guys want to talk about? Not a big deal. Go ahead and close out the stream today. I ended a little bit early today. It's pretty cool. We actually got to 3 hours on this. All right. Well, I love you guys. I really appreciate you guys being here. I wasn't sure what to expect today. You know, it's like I said, it's not easy stuff to talk about. I think it's stuff we need to get out in the open more, especially men. That's actually a really cool shit. I actually wanted to buy like the actual like Metal shield, but God, it's so expensive. That one's like a really hard like plastic, but it actually has like leather straps and stuff on the other side of it. So, it's kind of neat thing there. What show was Captain Rig would be fun. And again, guys, I know holidays can be tough for people, and if you ever need to talk about during the holidays or anything like that, please let me know. Oh, Brittany, stop that!
Thanks for the cheer, Greg, too.
Thank you, Brittany.
You're maltastic.
Thank you for the bits. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Pretty titties.
10K Brett to Cheerdax 200.
Yeah. Good times, guys. Good times. I know other people have been doing it too. I'm glad I could. You know, I think it helps that I've kind of been through it a little bit. You know, not that I went through anything like super traumatic or anything, but just having gone through, you know, identifying I need some help with this, getting the help I need for it, and then coming out the other side from it has been a big deal. And understanding it then at that point, I think I have just being older. You know, you have like, you know, life experiences, what you can, you know, what you've dealt with other people, and I think, like I said, I think the biggest thing for me has just been, honestly, fuck everybody else. I mean, if you're not doing what you love, if you're not doing what you find fun, what the fuck are you doing? And who gives a shit what Joe Blow over here thinks? It doesn't matter. Only what you think matters, and the people close to you. I mean, go do what you want to do. And that perspective, I think, has really changed how I feel about things in a big way. So I think that really helps. Well, I do that anyway, but I'm just kidding. Trolling people on COD is kind of fun. Let's be honest. Especially the Rangers. Trolling the Rangers on COD is kind of fun. They get so mad. Oh my god. All right. Well, again, thank you guys for coming out today. Again, I know this is not easy stuff. I really appreciate you guys being here. I wasn't sure what to expect, honestly. I thought I'd be talking to myself the entire time. I didn't think anyone would want to come here to talk about this stuff. But it's really cool that you guys did. Mysterious, I'm glad you brought your dad on here. Control Delete, I'm glad you came here too. I'm proud of you for being a part of a mental health agency. It's really awesome. And men, we got to do better in our screenings, in our wanting to get help and encouraging others to get help, and calling out those that are talking down about that stuff. We got to be better, and I think we can get there. But it's going to start with us individuals. You can't rely on anybody else. You can't rely on the media or the politicians or the agencies or anything else. It's got to be on us. I think we can get there. I really do. I really think we get there. I really like the statistics with Gen Z and what they're doing, and I really hope that we can, you know, stop the cycle, because it's the stigma. That stigma's got to die. The whole manliness bullshit dies. It needs to go away. The manliness bullshit needs to go away. There's no reason for it. It's stupid. That whole thing is stupid. I hate it. So. All right. Well, again, guys, thank you so much for being here and coming out. I really appreciate it, and for the biddies and for the subscription, Tori, and just for you guys being here. It means a lot to me, and the fact you shared your stories and hung out and supported one another and whatnot. This will always be a better space. All of the people here today, in fact, I know all the people here today have better spaces. Our Discords will always be a better space. Our social media sites will always be a better space. And if you ever need to retreat to one of the spaces, we got you. You know, we got you. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream on that. Yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I know that I'm excited. I only have 2 days of work this week, and then we have 5 days off. That'll be nice. And I'll catch you guys next time for sure. And you guys have a great time, and you guys have a great week coming up ahead. And if you're going to celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you guys have a great holiday coming up too. So talk to you guys soon. See you guys soon. And thanks again, everybody. And take care. It was a lot of fun today. I really enjoyed it. You guys did too.